Hello friends, my name is Bonnie and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be going through my March TBR and I'm intimidated. So I have my stack here and I feel like from a distance it looks doable, but I have two chunky tomes in here that I'm hoping to get to, but I'm very scared. So let's start listing the books that I'll hopefully read. But the first book I am hoping to get to for March is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This book I picked up because I super loved The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. Also really enjoyed Mexican Gothic, so I decided I'm wanting to read this author's backlist, kind of anything they have out in the world I'm intrigued by. I feel like their writing has such a wide variety of style because Beautiful Ones is kind of a period drama, I would say, and then Mexican Gothic is a gothic thriller, and then this one, I don't know how to describe this one, so I will read the back for you. A young woman and a Mayan death god embark on a life-changing journey in this one-of-a-kind fairy tale inspired by Mexican folklore. The Jazz Age is a time of daring dances and fast music, but not for Cassiopeia Tun. She is stuck in her dusty small town, performing menial chores until the day when she opens a curious wooden box and accidentally frees an imprisoned deity. In the company of the strangely alluring god, and armed only with her wits, Cassiopeia begins an adventure replete with malicious ghosts, shape-changing sorcerers, and a powerful magic. Her cross-country odyssey will take her from the jungles of Yucatan to the bright lights of Mexico City and deep into the darkness of the Mayan underworld. Doesn't that just sound fun and awesome? I can't wait. The next one I put on my TBR because I feel like I'm gonna need some short, quick reads in between the big ass books that I'll be showing shortly. But on my TBR I am putting The Summer Palace by C.S. Pacat. This is a collection of some short stories in the Captive Prince world. It's supposed to be like the Summer Palace tale is supposed to be kind of like in after everything happens in the trilogy, a cute little summer getaway that Damon and Laurent take. They reference oh, we should do that in the summer, we should go to the palace in the summer. They reference that in one of the books, so I wanted to pick this up because I liked the soft moments we were getting towards the end of the trilogy, but I definitely wanted more, so I picked this one up, and it's supposed to have a few other short stories as well. It has Green But for a Season, a story of Jord and Emmerich, The Summer Palace, a story of Damon and Laurent, The Adventure of Charles, the Parisian cloth merchant, story of Charles the Prince and his assistant Layman, and Pet, a story of Ansel and Berenger. So it should have quite a few stories. Hopefully they're all cute. I'm praying they're all cute and not like the bad vibes that occur in the trilogy, but it's nice and short and hopefully an enjoyable palate cleanser between books. The next one I have, I've actually started reading, I think back in January, but that is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I picked this one up, well, let's be real, I've owned this book for quite a few years and just never got around to reading it, and then Amazon Prime had the first season of the TV show for a little while, so I watched that and really enjoyed the first season, and I was like, you know what, I think it's time I give this a try, which I am currently on page 202, and I was really enjoying it, but I had to put it down to kind of prioritize my actual TBR books for January, February, but I'm hoping to continue and finish this in March. This is like a paranormal romance, but also a bit of a mystery, because there is this missing ancient kind of grimoire tome of like alchemical text. It's been missing for centuries, and then Diana, our main character, who is a witch who doesn't really practice magic, she just naturally comes across it, checks it out, gets bad vibes from it, and kind of returns it to the library, and then it's missing again. And then all sorts of different paranormal, supernatural creatures are starting to come around her, like, that's been missing for years. How did you find it? Where is it? I want to see it. And it's supposed to have information of the creations of these creatures. So there are witches, demons, and vampires. I'm not sure if there's others as well. Oh, well, humans. We have our Lady Diana, who is kind of dealing with that, and then there is Matthew, who is a vampire, very dedicated to these alchemical texts, so he's like involved, but then he gets like protective of Diana, and their romance kind of happens. What I've been really enjoying about this is just the academic vibes of it. It is definitely rooted in that, in studying of things. Matthew as well is big on studying kind of like genetic blood things. So I just like the academic scientific take on these creatures and just the dynamics they then create. So it does kind of give me the vibes of back in the day when everyone was in their vampire paranormal romance era, but the academics of it, I feel like, gives a new twist on it that I'm really enjoying. So it's like past young Bonnie vampire romance vibes, and then like to this day academic enjoyment Bonnie. So like I've been having a good time, and I'm hoping to continue on and finish this one, and then kind of decide if I want to continue in the trilogy. The next one I am really hoping to get to is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marske. This is the Illumicrate edition with just these stunning edges I will never get over, but I've been hearing really good things about this one, and I'm hoping to give it a try. A young baronet, Robin Blythe, is already in a spot of bother. He's struggling to be a decent older brother and a responsible employer, and to rescue the estate ravaged by his late parents' excesses. Then an administrative mistake appoints him parliamentary liaison to a secret society, and he discovers magic lies beneath the reality he always known. Soon Robin must contend with magic's dangers as well as its beauty, for as he tries to find his missing predecessor, he attracts a deadly curse. To navigate these hazards, he'll need the help of Edwin Corsi, his prickly magical society counterpart, but his aloof associate clearly wishes Robin were anyone and anywhere else. Drawn together by unexpected perils, Robin and Edwin will discover a mystery as old as the power that binds the land, a plot that threatens every magician in the British Isles, and a secret that some have already died to keep. I am very excited. I love the idea of a curse, of like people working together that don't really get along, and I know this is LGBT, so hoping for a really cute romance. And I have heard this is more of like a new adult to adult text. I think this is going to be fun. I am like a little scared because I don't really like historical books, and I believe this is like in Edwardian London. I'm kind of hesitant about that, but I'm really hoping this will be way more rooted in like the magic of it, especially with it talking about like a secret society. So this might hit like the little sweet spot of like just the right amount of historical elements or inspiration, and I can really enjoy this one. And then the next one is also another like little palette cleanser fun time thing that I felt like I would need. that I also recently got my hands on. So spoiler alert for an upcoming book haul, this will be in it. But that is Sailor Moon Volume 8. I am getting close to the end of Sailor Moon. So crazy to say. This is volume 8 out of 10, and what can I say? It's a Sailor Moon manga. Should be a fun time, unless you're volume 6, which was a big flop. But I'm just excited to see what like these final arcs are, and I fly through mangas. I feel like everyone flies through mangas, and I don't think it's even that long of a manga for this series. Yeah, I think it's like about 330 pages, so not that long. I think some of them have been like 500 pages, so this should be swift read and hopefully another great installment. Okay, we have reached the end 2 books of my TBR, and the ones that I am the most intimidated by and scared that I won't be able to complete in March, but we're trying, and that's what matters. I am hoping to start a new vlog series that helps me get caught up on authors, because I have the bad habit of owning 2 or more books in series by authors I already enjoy or have enjoyed in the past, and just not catching up for literally no reason. Like, it's sitting on my shelf, it is looking at me, and I haven't read it yet. So the first one that I'm hoping to read in its entirety, and I'm so scared, but that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I've owned this book for many a year now. I've had very mixed feelings with Throne of Glass. I think in part that's just like because of the times I've read it. I started reading Throne of Glass in, I think, early high school, and then I continued into college, and now here I am post-college, and I haven't finished the series, but it's literally the only one I have left, and I'm very scared and intimidated. It's huge. Also, these are like incredibly thin, floppy pages. How many pages does this have? Oh my god, including the acknowledgements, it's 984 pages. I'm terrified. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this, but I am determined to finally finish off this series. And honestly, it's kind of perfect because Steph at Steph Loves announced that her group has started. It's called the Final Book Support Group, and so they are going to be doing a kind of readathon goings on focused on finishing series. And what do you know, I'm hoping to read and finish this in March, so guess I'll be reading this during that. But I'm very intimidated, very scared. Throne of Glass, boy, is there no way to really summarize this entire series because it changes so much. But book 1 is centered on Selena, who is I think like an imprisoned slave at the time, but she is a trained assassin, and the king has decided he's going to make these like assassins compete to be his official like assassin. So she gets taken from the mines that she's being a slave in and brought into this competition, and she's then gotta compete with shitty people. She befriends like the crown prince. Crown prince is super tight with the head of the army. God, why can't I remember his title? Political things happen. Then later in the series it gets more magical. Fae come into the situation. There's death, there's violence. Later on there's like dragons as well. There's just, a lot goes on. A lot goes on. We'll see what I think about this one. And as I was saying, I have a bad habit of having 2 or more books by an author and then not reading it. I also plan to read by Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Silver Flames. Again, I have owned this for at least a year and I haven't gotten to it. I really thought I would when the hype was so high when this first came out, but I just never got around to it. I think part of me felt guilty that I haven't read Kingdom of Ash, so I was like, you can't read this one yet. You can't do it. You can't do it. But we're gonna try and resolve that in March. But it's another huge one. Let's see. Okay, these pages are more normal pages, so that makes me feel a little better. With acknowledgements, it's 757 pages. Still a chunker. But I'm assuming this will read pretty fast. This is the spin-off, but also like continuation of Sarah J. Maas' A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So there is like the core trilogy that is centered on Freya and her experience becoming whisked into this fae world when she kills a wolf who turns out to actually be a fairy, and she then kind of has to make up for it with living in the spring court. There is fantasy romance, obviously, because that's what the genre is, and then there's also like war, baddies, different fae courts. Sarah J. Maas has continued on the series with standalones. So this is centered on Nesta and Cassian's story. I've heard that this is more like character exploration, dealing with PTSD, and it doesn't have the same like fantasy focus like the way the trilogy did with it being a standalone. So I've heard some decent things. This is a confirmed like new adult book. It's moved beyond YA, so you know there'll be plenty of smutty moments with it officially being out of YA. Again, I'm intimidated, but I think I will enjoy this one more than Kingdom of Ash because I prefer A Court of Thorns and Roses series over the Throne of Glass series because it just feels more like tightly built and doesn't have as much varying of characters, changing of plot, that sort of thing. So we'll see. But yeah, so these two will be featured in a new reading vlog series, so stay tuned for that. No clue when it will be posted because I don't know how long it'll take me to get through these chunker of books, but we will hope for the best. So these are all of the books I am hoping to read in, ooh, hang on, Marvelous Light. These are all of the books I am hoping to get to in March. Fingers crossed I can do it. There are a lot of pages here. You'll probably see in my thumbnail or video name how many pages I'm trying to read in March because I'm scared. I'm scared, but I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I have quite a few picks that I will potentially 4 or 5 star, which I'm really hoping for because my February reading has been quite a flop. Stay tuned for February wrap up. Oh boy. So I would love to know what book you would most recommend me prioritizing, or if you've read any of these, I would love to know your thoughts. But other than that, in my description, as always, I will have put my Goodreads and Bookstagram if you'd like to follow or friend me over there. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope to see you here for the next one, and hopefully I will have succeeded in reading all of these books. Bye.